toe-to-toe as they have so many times so far this weekend. Packed up, paired up, stacked up, and racked up.
The top three are going to try to break away like they did before. Who knows who's going to take first?
Time to go racing at Carolina Motorsports Park. Green flag, and we're back underway in the Gridlife Rush Series. It's a dead even heat. We're 3 wide. The 33 of Ethan Alexander was split like a sandwich down to turn 1. Big lockup and a spin.
Oh.
Middle of the field, right in front of everybody. And the field scatters around it as they try to navigate through it. But out front, Leach, Vocal, and Bratz get through the melee.
This looks familiar to us. We're going to see how they break away and if they can jockey for those positions up front. We got a 2 wide right behind them. So we've got some battles coming up.
Yeah, into turns 4, 5, and 6 now. I think a lot of people seem to have dodged that car that was looped around there at turn 1. Didn't catch which car it was, and there it is. Is it the 28 of TJ Hunt? It appears to be. So he's gone around and it has gotten collected. A little bit of body work split up there. So I'm not sure if those cars can't get restarted, it will draw the full course yellow. But for now, we're racing. Big lunge on the brakes into turn 8. There's a little argy-bargy down there on the run into that corner.
That was pretty wild. Just see the car really jumping around and trying to do that. Now we've got our full course caution though, so we're gonna have to stay in line. That's gonna close it back up. So any kind of gaps you're seeing like what we see right here, we're gonna stack all those back up and there's gonna be another restart.
Yeah, so again, have to clear the racetrack, make sure it's safe to continue. And similar story to the previous race where they had an incident at turn 1 that was unable to be cleared. When I saw the long shot down the front straightaway, I didn't see those cars there, but we saw TJ Hunt looped around. There was a big cloud of smoke, like a lockup down into turn 1. So I'm not sure if he got turned around backwards, but he was basically head on into the field. And everyone did a pretty good job dodging and weaving around him, but I'll guarantee that it is not a fun experience in his second competition weekend to be turned around like that.
Definitely not. Maybe even more scary for somebody who's coming up on it first and going to potentially collect that car. You've got to get out of the way, and you've got to do so without surprising the person behind you, which could cause another incident. So it's always, you got to be heads up.
Yeah, so great work by everybody that seemed to have missed it. It seems like only 2 cars were unable to drive away from it. And they got some safety trucks out there. It looks like there still might be some cars at the exit of 1, but here's a look. See if we can figure out what happened. We're 3 wide, and he was already backwards, wasn't he?
Yep, but it looks like people, okay. So we ended up with at least 3 cars making contact there.
I have to say, I am pretty impressed with the unfortunate end of the race early for that driver there. But I have to say, I'm really impressed with the field, the dodge and weave around that is as good as they did. And the other car that was caught up in that, I think it was Alex Ziegenfuss in that 129, and he seems to have made it around the track, or at least back to the pit lane. So again, we talked about how robust these cars are.
Exactly. These cars really seem to be durable. They can take these little impacts. In fact, that oil slick looking car, I was talking to him in the pits, there's just a tiny bit of damage to the wrap, but the car otherwise looks perfect. So they can take a little bit of a beating and still continue on. We see a little bit of hanging part off of that car. Yeah,
again, just a little bit of body work. There's AJ Campo in the 227 that likely saw all of that out the front cockpit of the car. And we're going to be back behind the control of the safety car. A couple pieces of body work there strewn around the racetrack and other places as well, and just got cleaned up.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes you can just knock it out of the way, right?
Yeah, generally, as long as it's a lightweight component and not a chunk of metal. Self-cleaning racetrack philosophy.
I'll take it.
It's not Dover Motor Speedway or anything, but that's the true self-cleaning racetrack of at least in the Northeast. But so we'll kind of get things reset and restacked here. So it looks like it was at the 256 of Reed that was collected, or was it what was the other car that was down there at the bottom? So it's TJ Hunt, the 17 of Howell maybe as well. So those 3 cars were the ones that were involved in it. And I didn't catch how the 28 got turned around. It's very possible that he had someone in the back of him before he entered turn 1.
Yeah, with that quick of a turnaround that early, you're really not turning at that point, so it's likely there's some contact. Somebody might get a little distracted and a little bump.
Either that or just went to the brakes too quickly with cold tires and it just swapped ends really quick. But again, TJ's had a couple of race starts now, so wouldn't anticipate that necessarily, but maybe we'll get some information post-race and pass along what we can to you. But drivers are okay. We're just waiting to get those cars off course so we can resume racing here in the Gridlife Rush Series race number 3. So last time on a restart, Andy Volkel was leading. He lost the lead. What did Volkel learn now that he's in the position Leach was in the last race?
Yeah, so I talked to Andy after the last race. We were looking through the video, and it's very clear what happened there. It was a clean start. but he lost that opportunity. So now he is going to be laser focused on that flag stand to make sure that he doesn't miss out on the jump.
The pace car was moving very slowly, I think giving race control enough time to clear the racetrack and get green maybe this lap. I thought I saw the lights shut off, but no, we're not going to be green this lap. They're going to try to figure out how to get these cars pulled off course. So we will continue for at least another lap behind the control of the pace car.
Certainly see that we're closing those back up.
I just remember back at Road America last year, we had a small incident at turn 5 where one of the cars had to be put on a rollback, but they didn't have a rollback there. But they did have a crane truck with basically a sling, and Owen Horst and I were joking. It was like the from Toy Story, the claw, as it came down to pick up the car and just dragged it like a cat dragging a mouse in. But yeah, it was kind of a little bit of comedic relief after an unfortunate incident. But
so other than the wing, everything at the highest point in this car is incredibly structural. So if you were to somehow flip this car or something like that, you've got all that strength, but it also is a great place to pick it up on.
And a lot of the cars now have basically a halo built in as well, and they have something called the Trident, which is sort of a 3-barred system where there's a bar that runs down directly in front of the driver, adding additional safety. So a couple different options on this car as to how to configure that, but the SRX has it as well.
And you might imagine something right in the middle of your field of view would be distracting, but I talked to one of the drivers, he said it almost immediately disappears.
Yeah.
You forget that it's there, but that safety you'll be happy to have there. Apparently that it's strong enough that it could get wedged under a semi and you'd be okay. It can hold that strength.
And I believe that. And you look at the Formula Series, thinking Formula One or IndyCar, things of the sort that have gone to the halo or the aero screen or what have you, that all sort of have the same basic structure. And that's something that Rush has replicated in a way that fits this car, fits this chassis. It isn't just bolted on there. It's designed as part of the car. And just that safety and structural capability is just another layer of safety for these cars. And we talk about how robust they are. It really takes a lot. I mean, these are suspension impacts that keep these cars from rolling, but we have yet really to see anything with the bodywork that would keep them from rolling away. So really safe cars. And again, under control of the pace car here. When we get restarted, it's going to be a pretty quick race to the end, though note that on our timer, we have 8 minutes counting down. Gridlife races are never a set time exactly. We have a time window to complete the race in. We roughly run 15-minute races, so when the clock hits 0, we may or may not be on the last lap, and that's okay. We'll get the white when we get the white, we get the checker when we get the checker. So though there's only 7 minutes and 40 seconds, we've been amazingly on schedule today. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe an extra lap or 2 added to this one.
Yeah, I hope so. We really want to see this play out. It's never any fun to spend most of the time under caution, and there's no need to here. We've got 2 cars to remove, but it's not major. There's a little bit of debris down there that we'll see, but that shouldn't be enough to stop the race. So once we get these cars cleared, I think we'll get some good laps in.
Yeah, great work there by the Carolina Motorsports Park recovery crew to get this thing up on the tow truck. And again, the pace car running very slowly. It's going to be more efficient to run a slow lap here and restart on this lap than it would be to come back around and do a whole other lap after this. So we'll continue circulating behind the pace car.
You can tell the drivers are aware that might happen. Maybe they're hearing that over the radios because you're seeing them weave, trying to put heat back into those tires, get ready for that ideal start. When they all queue up here, everybody's going to be taking that close look, trying to take advantage of this opportunity to jump ahead. If there's a big gap before the full course caution came out, that's all been closed up, so they get that opportunity to make it back.
You'll note this Camaro on track behind. No, that's not a mistake. That is our time attack pace car here this weekend. It's probably been sent out just to clear the track behind the field and make sure that the conditions of the track after the cleanup are good to run on here. So it will not be competing in this race. Don't worry about that.
Talk about scale. Imagine one of those coming up behind a Rush SR car.
Yeah, I don't know that I would love that so much. But again, Mike Cohn slowing us way down to give the safety crew time to get off the course and give us time to maybe give the track a quick sweep before we turn them loose once again.
These are actually pretty easy to operate and reliable race cars, but typically a race car doesn't want to just sit, right? So you never just stop on track for a lot of reasons. You could heat soak and everything like that, but a little bit of movement is enough to get air flowing through the radiator, keeping it cool, keeping it ideal so it's ready when that opportunity strikes and we can get back to racing.
Yeah, we are so close. Safety trucks are dodging back behind the pit wall, and Mike Cohn will be looking to turn that switch off and turn those amber LEDs off on top of that car. For now, they remain lit. They might give it one more go at a faster pace to speed things up. Again, I wouldn't worry about the timer so much. generally, when we get down to the low end of the timer, they'll restart, give them 2 or 3 laps, and we'll see what the decision is from race control when we see that white come out. That's all we'll know about it. But when they roll back around,
yeah, it's critical here that when we know that something might happen, we want to be stacked back up tightly, and it looks like the light might be out.
Lights are out, and there has been a slippery surface condition flag displayed to the drivers at the turn 12 corner station. The red and striped yellow flag is an indication that there is some debris on the surface. I think they're referencing what they're driving by on driver's left right there. So they might see that at the main flag stand as well with the green, because we are going to go back racing in the Gridlife Rush Series, race number 3. The pace car is going to head for home, peel off to pit lane. Ryan Leach and Andy Vogel are going to go back to their 2-car tango at the front of the field, waiting for the green, waiting. And green flag, we're back underway in the Gridlife Rush Series, and Nico Bratz immediately swings defensive on James French. Ethan Alexander on a charge as well, but here comes Vogel pushing Ryan Leach through turn number 1.
Really tight battles here. We've got some side-by-side action. Everybody was trying to make the most of that green flag start.
Oh, a little door-to-door there up into turn 4. Does Leach have the advantage? He still does. He's looking a little bit sideways up here. Andy Vogel trying to keep pace with him. Nico Bratz is on his heels there. The red car in trail of the purple machine. That's Vogel in his first weekend in his own Rush SR car here, and he's on defense now.
We've got our familiar 3 up front. This looks familiar, and we're just trying to see if they can continue racing and switch up.
Oh, wow, Alexander, big charge on James French behind. That was a battle for 4th place. He took him by surprise and took that spot away. That was a big move there.
That was an excellent move, and I think, oh, wow, they just stacked back up. Oh, and we're going to see if he can hold on to it. Okay, that was more of an intimidation move than an actual move, but they're right nose to tail.
Yeah, James French, again, so much experience in machinery like this at the highest levels of motorsport, and now battling with Ethan Alexander there. Nate Hamilton is also chasing this battle with Batley, Hughes, and DiGiacomo right behind. A little more side by side as French goes back up the inside of Alexander. Great back and forth there on this lap.
Yeah, as long as they keep this clean, they're going to be coming back into the bits and just ranting about how much fun they're having right now, just trying to duke it out for position.
Remember James French. Whoa, big slip there in turn 14. Did not have the grip, and here comes Alexander back again.
He's ready for that opportunity.
White flag, final lap around here. Only 1 lap to go in this race.
Going for the outside. He's probably going to tuck back in if he knows that it's clear next to him. And they're sideways. Oh, so close. And little Bob.
Oh, he's going to shove it down the inside. Where's he going? Ethan Alexander trying to find a Rush SR size hole to the inside of French, but denied that pass that time.
He is not laying back. He is just in it, and any opportunity he sees, he's going to jump for it. Wow.
Oh, spin behind him. Nate Hamilton's gone around right in the middle of turn 4. Right center track again. It's TJ Hunt spin all over again. Everybody dodging and weaving to the inside.
We're staying green. Everyone just has to get around this car and finish out this last lap.
Yeah, and fourth place, James French and Ethan Alexander absolutely going at it here. Big slide on the brakes for French. He's at the limit of the grip of these tires.
Amazing racing we're watching right here. Wow, look at that bobble. That's not going to help him.
No, it's not. Didn't get a very good run out of turn 8. He needs to use a slipstream and maybe a big send on the brakes. Hope for a mistake. French draws him across the racetrack, trying to break the draft on the run down to turn 11. He might have enough distance to prevent a lunge into turn 11.
Easy to get into red mist here. You're just charging with adrenaline, trying to get everything you can, but you got to be strategic in these moments. Let's see if he can do something to stick with him, maybe even try to get a pass if there's a mistake up ahead.
A little wiggles behind him. Brett DiGiacomo sees Wilson and Hughes right ahead of him here as the field comes around to turn 14. Here's Ryan Leach trying to go 3 for 3. Andy Vogel tantalizingly close there in the number 34. Nico Bratz is going to get denied another second or first place here. Checkered flag, and Ryan Leach 3 for 3 wins Rush Series here at South Carolina. Then it's Vogel, Bratz, French hangs on to 4th in that epic brawl between himself and Ethan Alexander.
Oh, and Vogel trying so hard. He actually put down fastest lap just then. It wasn't enough. It was too late in the race, unfortunately. Man, what a race we just witnessed. Had they had all the time to get through there, it could have been a totally different outcome, but this is all part of it, right? You got to take advantage of what you've got available to you.
Yeah, what a great race there for 4th, though. James French and Ethan Alexander just absolutely slicing and dicing back and forth. And there's Nate Hamilton, who's been unable to get that car restarted. That's a huge shame for him. Was running up inside the top 5, top 6 when he got turned around. Again, not sure if there was any contact there, but once he got looped, couldn't get refired. And again, everyone did a phenomenal job dodging and weaving around him.
Yeah, maybe an advantage of these small cars. You can kind of get out of the way and make more lanes around a spun car. But again, we got to give a lot of credit to these drivers, being heads up, looking for those kinds of incidents coming up ahead. It can be overwhelming, especially newcomers to this series or to racing. You got to be aware of these things coming up ahead. It's not just about throwing down the fastest lap. You got to do it in a safe way.
But does anybody have anything for Ryan Leach?
Man, we don't know. I mean, Vocal throwing down that fastest lap and actually coming up closer to him is interesting. Maybe he can stitch it all together.
So race 4 tomorrow is going to be gridded by the points of the weekend thus far. So it's a slightly different format than IBOC GLTC, but it'll still put Ryan Leach on the front row. But Andy Vocal, Nico Brods, James French, they're all still going to be here. James French will actually be down a little further because he didn't score a lot of points in the first 2 races of the weekend. But, man, I'll tell you what, the front 3, they have teed themselves up for an epic brawl. If Leach lost a 1/10 of a second a lap, I mean, Vocal will be in there, and as soon as Vocal's in there, Brotz is in there. I mean, it's just,
absolutely.
I mean, it's just explosives waiting to get set off between these two.
I think regardless, we're going to see this top of the field back up together. So even if French falls back a little bit in starting grid tomorrow, I definitely expect to see him back up in the mix, and this battle's just going to keep continuing. These guys are absolutely fantastic drivers. They're laying it all out. You see them sliding the cars in full control. They are going to put down incredible laps.
Yeah, so heading back into the pit lane now, finishing out their 3rd race of the weekend. A little bit shortened because of the full course yellow we had with TJ Hunt and a couple others getting tangled up in turn number 1. But have a look at the results here in just a moment as well, and kind of give us a perspective of how things went for those beyond the top 5, because again, it was just a pretty enticing battle there across the Rush Series Race 3. But again, we have one more race on the weekend, and these guys are with us for most of the season. I think all the season as well. So we'll get to watch them all throughout the year. And heading back to the pit lane, and we'll have a look at our Gridlife Rush Series Race 3 highlights. Rolling off the grid here with a little bit of breeze in the cool afternoon, but turn 1, lap 1, collision there. TJ Hunt got turned around and right into the center of the field. It was the 256 that got stuck and unable to continue. Brought out a full course yellow on the restart, though. It was Ethan Alexander and James French that were absolutely slicing and dicing here. They continue to do that all the way back around with that side-by-side battle. Even on the last lap, they continued. Alexander tried to use the curbing to his advantage, could not do it, could not get there. At the end of the race, though, it was Ryan Leach going 3 for 3, checkered flag, winning all 3 races so far here at Gridlife, South Carolina. And it looks like Nate Hamilton's still stuck over there by turn 4 as we wait for the field to head back around. Again, we have to get him on the rollback before we can move on to our next event on the day.
A number of spins out there. That first spin by TJ Hunt, I talked to him right before the race, and he ended up having his brake bias way off than what he expected. So he put new pads in because he had glazed his old ones and changed his bias back. And man, his first time jumping on those brakes was in turn 1, so it probably just wasn't exactly what he expected. Maybe some of these other spins were brake related as well.
I think that could be, again, especially on the beginning of the race when your brakes are cold, your tires are cold, you go to that pedal and it just swaps ends on you. It's so easy to do, especially when you don't have all the load on the front. We're going from a faster corner, a faster straightaway to a slower corner. There's more weight on the front tires. And on the initial start, there's just not that much weight transfer happening. So it's just very easy to swap ends on the race car. So with that, we're going to wrap things up here for Gridlife Rush Series race number 3.